Hi, my name is Matt Schmidt. I'm the Director of DOCSIS Specifications at Cable Labs. I'd like to welcome you to these highlights of the DOCSIS 3.1 Symposium that we held at the SET Expo 2013 here in Atlanta.
But this is the kind of stuff that your head and techs are going to have to start to see, right? It's how do you identify the location of impulse noise and impairments like that that are happening on the network. Good news is, another shout out to my friends Alberto and Tom, they're looking at problems like this as well. And also the folks that brought you technologies such as Scout Flux, they're looking at things like this. How do we identify the location of impulse noise in the network from some features? And we're going to have to do this if we want to be able to stop this problem. You know, where to put those RF chokes again to stop that problem.
But when we can give an option to customers as to whether we're going to provide it over a traditional DOCSIS 3.0, a DOCSIS 3.1, or over a fiber delivery mechanism, it's nice to have that kind of option available to us and just to give a greater choice to the customers in the long term.
So I think, and you look at the ability to have multiple bonded groups in 3.0 so that not only can you scale an individual CPE device for the number of channels it can support, but you can have multiple bonded groups so that you can further load balance. All those techniques that were built into DOCSIS starting back in the early days continue to serve us well and allow us to horizontally basically scale that. And 3.1 brings to that the additional spectral efficiency so we can get even more gains out of that footprint.
Looking at the effect of changing signal levels, looking at, well, educating the workforce. If that isn't an SCTE mission, I don't know what is. And I think Matt made a great comment, and also George Salinger and Jeff Finkelstein earlier about the importance of that and kind of the lessons we learned with SCDMA. That's a big part of this committee too, is to figure out what training specifically needs to be put in place for not just the engineers like yourselves, but the technicians and the installers in the homes, right? They have to understand what they're looking at.
3.1 is really about, I would say, if you want to boil it down, extending the life of the HFC network, making sure we get as much out of the investment that cable operators have already made in HFC and make sure they can continue to offer class-leading products and services into the future. Where DOCSIS 3.1 comes into that is in several areas. One of them is in improving the efficiency by which we can transport data across the network. So we can basically pack more bits into the same space as what we could do before, and even up to a 50% improvement in that sense in terms of what we can pack into the spectrum. But even beyond that, that's only going to take you so far. To get to truly orders of magnitude greater bandwidths and capacities than what we have today, you're also going to need to be able to operate over more spectrum.